today I'm going to give away a free t-shirt, bring you a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, and reveal the books of office. How y'all doing? I'm Victor, and you are watching a Comic Hero show. Now kick that intro! Edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. This month is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Now, I'm going to touch base on that a little later on, but for right now, it's time to give away a free t-shirt. Alright, on last week's episode, I asked, in a DC Universe's emotional spectrum, which emotion does the color green represent? Well, the correct answer is will. Now, some of y'all said willpower. I also accepted your answer. Well, 15 people have answered correctly, and because they've answered correctly, your name's been entered in the drawing for a free tee. And that drawing takes place right now. So the winner of the free tee for this week's episode of the show is... Michaela Blackwell from Shreveport, Louisiana. So congratulations, Michaela. We're going to have a free Comic Hero tee. Alright, here's the question for next week's episode. Now, last episode, I celebrated the 30th anniversary of the Kyle Rayner Green Lantern, so this is a Kyle Rayner Green Lantern question. What superhero name does Kyle Rayner adopt after absorbing the combined powers of the fallen Green Lantern Corps that Parallax left in the sun years earlier? Alright, now here are the hints again. Here are the hints. The first hint is that this superhero name is also an atom or a group of atoms that carries a positive or negative electrical charge. The second hint, this superhero name is also the name of a broadcast and free ad supported television network whose slogan is positively entertaining. And then the third and the final hint, this superhero name is also an acronym that stands for In Other News. Now I basically just gave y'all the answer. I mean, well, those that are tech savvy, I basically gave y'all the answer. Alright, everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. Now, Mandy Hooter from Bossier City, Louisiana has requested a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, and this one features the Sorcerer Supreme going up against the Mad Titan. Representing Marvel, we have Doctor Strange, and also representing Marvel, we have Thanos. These two are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call...
The Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown.
Welcome to the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Today, it's Doctor Strange versus Thanos. Doctor Strange is a practicing sorcerer who draws his powers from mystical entities such as Agamotto, Sidorak, Icon, Ashtor, Rogador, and Watum, who lend their energies for spells. Strange also wields mystical artifacts including the Cloak of Levitation, which enables him to fly, the Eye of Agamotto, an amulet whose light is used to negate evil magic, the Book of the Vishanti, a grimoire which contains vast knowledge of white magic, the Orb of Agamotto, a crystal ball which is used for clairvoyance. In addition to his magical abilities, Strange is trained in several martial arts disciplines, including judo, and has shown proficiency with numerous magical conjured weapons, including swords and axes. Thanos possesses superhuman strength, speed, stamina, durability, and agility, access to nearly all-powerful mystical artifacts and weapons, superhuman physiology of the Eternals, is a skilled hand-to-hand combatant. He also possesses plasma energy projection, genius-level intellect, nigh invulnerability, and is a master tactician. Who will win? With what I just said in terms of their power sets, this fight goes deeper than you think. Strange knows full well that Thanos can gain access to every one of his mystical artifacts whenever he wants, so Strange shows up without any of them to the fight. Thanos quips, "So, you decided to show up without the artifacts out of concern of me taking them from you. That's smart, but also foolish. I have other ways of defeating you." Thanos magically conjures up the Infinity Gauntlet and attempts to deliver the snap. Suddenly, Strange's cloak of levitation comes out of nowhere and covers up the Infinity Gauntlet, preventing Thanos from doing so. After a few seconds, Thanos yanks the cloak of levitation off and realizes that the Infinity Gems are missing from the gauntlet. He looks at Strange and sees that the gems are hovering around him. In other words, while Thanos was distracted, Strange mystically removed them from the gauntlet. He then says, "You're smart, but you're also arrogant." Strange then ends the fight by snapping his fingers and causing Thanos to turn into an infant. Doctor Strange wins, and that concludes this fight on the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Thank you, Mandy Hooter, for that fight. I hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll have another one for episode 494. Now, if you want to make a request, you are more than welcome to do so. But I have rules. The first rule, there has to be at least one comic book or manga character involved. The second rule, that comic book or manga character can go up against another comic book or manga character, a video game character, or a serious-minded cartoon character like Optimus Prime, the Galaxy Rangers, Voltron, Lion-O, anyone like that. And then the third rule, make sure your fight makes sense. It wouldn't really make a lot of sense for Perry White to go up against Piccolo. Although it would be very interesting. Kind of. Alright, let's get to the comics I bought this week. Comic books I bought this week. Alright, here we go. First up is Daredevil number 13. Really looking forward to this one. Exceptional X-Men number 1. The Immortal Thor number 15. The Incredible Hulk number 16. Miles Morales Spider-Man number 24. Spider-Boy number 11. The Spectacular Spider-Men number 7. The Ultimates number 4. And finally, Venom War number 2. Alright, that's 9, which brings the total number of comics that I've bought since December of 1997 to 13,098. Alright, well, I hope y'all enjoyed this week's episode, and here's a question again for a free tee for next week's episode of the show. What superhero name does Kyle Rayner adopt after absorbing the combined powers of the fallen Green Lantern Corps that Parallax left in the sun years earlier? Now here are the hints again. The first hint is that this superhero name is also an atom or a group of atoms that carries a positive or negative electrical charge. The second hint, this superhero name is also the name of a broadcast and free ad supported television network whose slogan is positively entertaining. And then the third and final hint And this is a dead giveaway if you're either a millennial or really tech, or especially if you're tech savvy. This superhero name is also an acronym that stands for In Other News. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. And congratulations to Michaela Blackwell from Shreveport, Louisiana, who won a free tee on this episode. All right, this month is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. And in 2012, President Barack Obama proclaimed September as National Childhood Cancer Awareness Month to bring awareness to pediatric cancer, which remains the leading cause of death by disease for children under the age of 14. It's a time to recognize the children and families affected by childhood cancers and to emphasize the importance of supporting research on these devastating conditions. 43 children a day here in the U.S. is diagnosed with cancer. And studies show that 1 in 5 children will not survive. In 1975, the survival rate of children battling cancer in America was 61%. Today, it's just over 84%. But, you know what, I'll just go ahead and say it. I hope one day the survival rate will be 100%. Because I feel the same way that the late, great Danny Thomas felt. Now, by the way, Danny Thomas is a legendary actor and comedian and also the founder of the St. Jude Children's Hospital. He believes that no child should ever have to die at the dawn of life, and I feel the same way. I know some folks that have fought childhood cancer. I know some folks that have beaten it. I know some children that are currently fighting, and I know some that lost their lives, and I know their parents, and I know just about any other parent whose child is battling it, and another one, and then I know the parents of those that have beaten it. If y'all are watching this, I love y'all, and this episode is for y'all. Alright, this is a Childhood Cancer Awareness Comic Hero tee, and if you would like one, you can find them on IamTheComicHero.com/shop for $17, and I will donate half of each purchase to St. Jude Children's Hospital. Alright, here's the road ahead for the show. On next week's episode, episode 493, I'm raising awareness of prostate cancer, and also there's going to be a mystery pop-up segment on that episode. I would say where it is, but it's a mystery. But what I can tell you, though, is that I'm going to raise awareness of the NICU. And you probably noticed in the comic books I bought this week segment that all the books that were featured were all Marvel. And in the mystery pop-up segment, the DC books will be featured in that segment. Alright, on episode 494, I'm going to raise awareness of PCOS. Now, PCOS stands for Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome. It's a cause among women. I personally know some women that are battling it. And this episode, if you're watching this and you happen to have PCOS, this episode is for y'all. Then on episode 495, I'm raising awareness of blood cancer. Then on episode 496, it's the 11th anniversary episode of the Comic Hero Show, and I am so excited about it. Wow, I mean, to be doing it for that long, all that, I just want to thank each and every one of y'all that have been sticking with me since day one. I want to thank everyone that has started watching along the way, and most importantly, I want to thank God, because one thing about this kind of thing, sometimes folks give up, but one thing about me, I'm not going to give up until I'm physically unable to. Bank on that. All right, I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to keep saying it until the day of. But meet me at the first annual Louisiana Delta Comic Con, which is November 2nd. It's going to be at the main campus of Louisiana Delta Community College in Monroe, Louisiana. And right now, the early bird sales for tickets are underway. They're $15 per. I don't know if there's a price for children. I don't know if they're going to be able to get in free. But if I hear anything, I will definitely let y'all know. All right, if you're watching this for the first time on YouTube, welcome. And as soon as you're done, hit subscribe. If you're watching this on the East Texas Comic Con Fans Facebook page, welcome. And as soon as you're done, hit subscribe. And if you're watching this on the Comic Book Lovers Facebook page, welcome. And as soon as you're done, go on YouTube and hit subscribe. All right, I'm Victor Nolly on the Comic Hero. I'll see you next week for episode 493. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero.